We finished second, and I want to tell you something. I'm just honored. I'm really honored. And I want to congratulate Ted, and I want to congratulate all of the incredible candidates.
There you have it. Our panel here once again to discuss: Lisa Caputo, Ron Brownstein, and Hadley Heath Manning. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So Hadley, the National Review, that magazine that posted a scathing anti-Trump edition, is celebrating this morning, tweeting a picture of Cruz and the words, "A good night for conservatives." The National Review says the Iowa caucuses proves Trump is beatable. But is he beatable in New Hampshire?
That's a different story. Of course, in Iowa, the past couple of election cycles, we've seen social conservatives, evangelical conservatives, people who self-identify as very conservative, typically show up to caucus, and their candidate usually wins. That was the case with Mike Huckabee and Rick Santorum, and now with Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz won handily with those who call themselves very conservative, with 44% of those votes. And so this proves that the caucus goes to those who show up. But of course, the voters in New Hampshire are very different. In 2008, they selected John McCain, and in 2012, Mitt Romney. So we see a different pattern there.
Definitely. And you talk about very conservative voters in Iowa did vote for Cruz, 44%, somewhat conservative, 19%, moderate, only 9%. But for Trump, moderate and somewhat conservative Republicans, he did pretty well. He did 34% with moderates, 24% from voters who consider themselves somewhat conservative. So back to, though, Trump coming in second place, because all the polls said, oh, Donald Trump's going to win in Iowa. So, Lisa, what hurt Trump? Was it skipping the debate? Was it Sarah Palin? Was it the Cruz attacks on New York values?
I think what hurt Donald Trump, frankly, is the notion that all politics is local. I think that in Iowa, we have heard it time and time again, retail politicking, and he did not invest in the field operation. You saw Ted Cruz really invest in the field operation, going to 99 counties. Marco Rubio also having a strong presence. So I think the lack of a field operation and the retail politicking really hurt Donald Trump. I also think that it can't be underestimated that Ted Cruz, you know, when you look at the caucus voters in Iowa, 2/3 of them on the Republican side are evangelicals, and Cruz took 1/3 of those, and then Trump and Rubio split the rest. But it's very interesting to note that Rubio got the late deciders, and he also got the suburban Republicans. So again, I go back to all politics is local, and you really got to invest in that ground game. And that hurt Donald Trump. People actually like to meet and greet and all that and feel like they're important, right? So Ron, Marco Rubio, let's talk about him. He came in a strong third. Does this mean voters want an establishment Republican who can win in a general election?
Well, it means there's a lane for that candidate, right? So, I mean, what we saw in Iowa was pretty similar in some ways to what we saw in 08 and 12. And Ted Cruz won evangelical Christians, but he lost voters who were not evangelical Christians. And with that exact profile, Mike Huckabee and Rick Santorum were able to win a bunch of southern states, but not really to grow into a full-fledged competitor for the nomination. Cruz is going to have to expand beyond that beachhead. The non-evangelical voters divided pretty much in half. Those who were blue-collar went to Trump. That's his core constituency, blue-collar voters who are not necessarily motivated by social issues. We saw Marco Rubio win the more white-collar, more secular voters, and that is a big chunk of the New Hampshire vote. That's exactly where he's going to be competing with Jeb Bush, John Kasich, and Chris Christie, and that's where Rubio has to establish himself as the leader of that lane. By the way, Carol, if you kind of look at it that way, you see the potential for something Republicans have never really had in the modern primary era, which is a sustained three-way race. Cruz relying on evangelicals, Donald Trump on his blue-collar support, and someone, Rubio, Kasich, Christie, or Bush, consolidating that more white-collar center-right lane.
Okay, Hadley, I leave you with these 5 words. Ben Carson, Florida, clean clothes.
Man, that was just an odd moment last night when Dr. Carson excused himself to get a fresh change of clothes, but he says he's not suspending his campaign. He had a strong 4th-place finish in Iowa, and he'll continue. He'll go on to New Hampshire with a new change of clothes.
That's right. He'll be fresh and ready.
That's right.
Thanks to all of you. Lisa Caputo, Ron Brownstein, Hadley Heath Manning.